She spent a year becoming my best friend just to frame me for murder. Alright, so buckle up because this whole thing still feels like a fever dream someone forgot to wake me up from. When the cops knocked on my door, I fully expected the "we found your friend dead" conversation. Instead, they hit me with, "Hey, you murdered some dude you've never met," which, like, bold accusation before I've even had coffee. It all started when my best friend Brianna just evaporated. One day she's texting me memes, 2 days later she's ghosting so hard she might as well have ascended to another plane. I go to her apartment to check on her, and some tired-looking landlord dude opens the door saying she moved out yesterday. Like she sprinted out in the night with all her stuff, which was news to me considering we'd made hiking plans literally 48 hours before. Then the cops show up with CSI starter pack evidence. My fingerprints on a knife, my hair on some dude's couch, and, my personal favorite, my gym card in his bedroom, bro. If I'd murdered someone, I wouldn't be dumb enough to leave my gym card. I barely want people seeing that thing at the gym. I tell them about Brianna being MIA, and they try looking her up. Turns out, her apartment was vacant. Her company never heard of her. The name Brianna Hayes isn't in any database, like she was crafted in a lab specifically to make me look insane. Then my stuff starts turning up missing at home. A spare key, a mug, a scarf, things I hadn't even noticed disappearing. And you know that cold feeling you get when your brain connects dots you really don't want connected? Yeah, that. Cops come back with crime scene photos. My scarf at the victim's apartment, my mug with my lipstick, a receipt with my literal signature for duct tape and rope. I was one blood-stained sock away from looking like a serial killer starter kit. I get a lawyer, Cassandra, who could probably win a court case in her sleep, and she gets emergency access to Brianna's supposedly vacated unit. Inside, a box. Inside that box, 3 copies of my keys, a bag of my hair, an old credit card of mine I thought I lost, a glass with my fingerprint, and a notebook that might as well have been titled How to Frame Your Friend 101. This notebook was basically my entire life, stocked in bullet point form. My schedule, habits, where I left my keys, how to get my fingerprints, how to take my hair, which nights I order takeout. And then the kicker, pages about a man I'd never heard of, her ex apparently, who'd filed a restraining order on her, and her plan to make me the patsy for his murder. The last entry, everything ready, she will take the fall, new ID prepared, leaving Tuesday. Yeah, so that's comforting. Cops admitted it was the wildest frame job they'd ever seen, but all the physical evidence still pointed straight at me like a neon sign that said, "Arrest this idiot." So Cassandra brought in a private investigator named Justin, who looked like he wakes up every day and chooses efficiency. He ran facial recognition on our selfies and found nothing, but he did track down the woman who played her sister once, an actress, as in hired, meaning Brianna had paid someone to play a role in her little sociopathic theater production. Meanwhile, cops pulled security footage from my apartment building, and there she was, strolling in and out late at night with bags, on nights she claimed she was crashing on my couch. Basically, she used sleepovers as cover to smuggle my stuff out and plant it at the victim's place. A neighbor at the victim's building even described seeing a blonde woman visiting him repeatedly. And then the forensic analyst called the cops himself like, "Hey, are these fingerprints? They look pushed on." As in, she literally pressed my hand onto a knife somehow like a damn craft project. Between the notebook, the expert testimony, and Cassandra arguing like she was speedrunning a law degree, a judge agreed to put a pause on arresting me. I still got slapped with an ankle monitor, which is exactly as humiliating as you'd think, but at least I didn't end up in jail chewing on bologna sandwiches and praying my cellmate liked Sudoku. So yeah, I'm now living on my friend Katie's couch, ankle monitor blinking, my entire life torched by a woman who pretended to be my best friend for a year just so she could frame me for killing her ex. Click the full story to see what happened next.